And today I'm going to be presenting gender differences in temperament and personality as seen through a daily diary survey. Recap of temperament and personality traits before we dive into our study. Temperament and personality are trait-like individual differences in emotional and cognitive biases that first emerge in early childhood, but that develop throughout one's life. These differences account for consistency in behavior, inner experience, and risk. TMP is also organized into three broadband factors: neuroticism, negative emotionality, extroversion, positive emotionality, and self-control conscientiousness. For our study, we decided to focus on neuroticism and extroversion so we could draw conclusions about how different levels of those traits can contribute to gender differences seen in mental illnesses. So to start with neuroticism, negative emotionality, it is a proneness to irritability or hostility, pessimistic view, self-doubt, negative moods, and less mood stability. So a high concentration of this, a person normally is sad easily, stressed or worried, and has mood swings, whereas somebody low in neuroticism is normally pleased with oneself, calm under pressure, and rarely irritated. And stable biases in these include emotion, susceptibility to negative moods. For appraisal, experience the world as distressing or threatening, and for motivation, they are aversive or defensive and tend to work hard to avoid punishment. And then just to recap extroversion, positive emotionality is the extent to which an individual is sociable, assertive, and emotionally expressive. So a person with high extroversion is extroverted, comfortable around people, and warm up quickly to new people, whereas somebody low in extroversion is introverted, tend to stick to the background, don't talk a lot, are hard to get to know. And core features of extroversion include for emotion, susceptibility to positive moods. For appraisal, they see the world as a series of opportunities for reward and are optimistic. And for motivation, they tend to work hard to approach the rewards and incentives, especially social rewards and social attention. And just a little background of the daily diary study. It is a qualitative study which requires participants to record entries or answer questions about their experiences in a daily log. And for ours, we did a 2-week daily diary study with 20 participants, 10 male, 10 female, with an age ranging from 13 to 50, sorry. And we included 16 questions. For neuroticism, negative emotionality, we measured how easily mood was changed, the duration of anger, if anger was experienced at all, and perceived support from others, as well as a daily rating. And for extroversion, we measured how often they socialized, their mood while socializing, and had them rate their mood. And to get an overall idea of how their day went and how their weeks went, we had them write a brief paragraph to describe the events of their day and how those events affected their mood. And for the disorder we decided to focus on for the study, we chose major depressive disorder, or MDD. And MDD, like many other disorders, have displayed a higher lifetime prevalence in women than in men. And in this case, it's 7.2 for women and 4.3 for men, meaning that women are more likely to develop MDD than their male counterparts. And we picked MDD to show how TMP traits can sometimes interact and predict the development of certain disorders. And there's evidence that individuals with high neuroticism, negative emotionality, and low extroversion, positive emotionality are especially vulnerable to major depression. And this kind of highlights a comorbidity or two hits effect, meaning that the chronic distress and heightened stress reactivity, or high neuroticism, negative emotionality, and reduced sensitivity to a reward and reduced motivation to seek out positive experience, the low extroversion, can contribute to the likelihood that an individual will develop MDD.
Hey guys, so I'll be talking about the results of our daily diary study. So we're going to start off with males and neuroticism and negative emotionality. So we asked, was your mood easily changed today? And a majority of them said no, which is awesome. And then the next question was, did you feel supported by the people around you today? 93% of them said yes. And then after that, we had asked, how often did you experience mood X, which was the previous question asking, like, what did you feel the most today? So most of them felt, or 55% of the people felt that emotion consistently throughout the day. And only about 15% of them said that, like, sometimes it was there, sometimes not. So then we asked them to rate their day on a scale from 1 to 5, and the majority of people rated their day at both 4s and 5s, which is great. So when it comes to extroversion, they when we asked them what they felt the most, 68, close to 70 people said, 70% of the people said that they experienced happiness and excitement. And then we asked them, did you see a friend, family member, or a relationship partner today? And 95% of them said yes. And only like 5% or 4% said no. And then, how social were you today on a scale from 1 to 5? And the majority of people said that they were pretty social, either a 4 or a 5. Very rarely was it a 1 or a 2. And then, how did you feel socializing? And 50% of the people said they were comfortable. And only 24% of the people said they were happy or excited. And only a few people didn't socialize today, but none of them felt cautionary/wary. And only a few, like 17.8%, said they felt self-conscious. So when it comes to females and neuroticism and negative emotionality, on the emotion they felt for the day, 78% of them said that they felt happiness and excitement throughout the day. The next one was worry or fear, but that was only 21%. And then, was your mood easily changed today? And 53% said no, but 46% said yes, which is a very different number than what we got with the males. And then, how often did you experience the mood that they had listed above? And 50% of them said often, 5% or 14% said consistently, and then 35% said that they felt it sometimes. It wasn't really there all the time. And then when they're asked to rate their day on a scale from 1 to 5, a lot of people gave 4s and 5s. However, there's also many 3s and 2s and only a slim number of 1s. So when it came to extroversion, when they were asked, did you see a friend, family member, or relationship partner today? 85, almost 86% of them said yes. Only 12% said no. And then there was very few people that were unable to see a family member because it was out of their control. And then we asked them, how did you feel while socializing today? 53% said comfortable, 32% said happy and excited. Only 7% didn't socialize today, and very little felt conscious or self-conscious when socializing. And then when they were asked, how social were you today from 1 to 5, a majority, about 64%, were either a 4 or a 5. And only rarely did someone put a 1, 8% of the time, 9% of the time. And you could see there's definitely a greater span of numbers with the females here than there were for the males. So basically, in conclusion, what we kind of got from the study was that the differences seen in male and female temperament and personality traits through these reports show that on average, women tend to have higher levels of negative emotionality and neuroticism and lower levels of extroversion, which can make them more prone to disorders such as MDD. However, as we've said before in class, traits are not inherently good or bad. You kind of have to take them with a grain of salt, because being neurotic does have its benefits. It makes you vigilant to danger and competitiveness, but some costs can cause stress and depression or health consequences. And the same can be said about extroversion. It's many great benefits like mating success, social allies, being exploratory of environments, but many costs come of physical risks and family stability. So it's important to realize that nothing is inherently good or bad depending on the trait. So, and then this was our works cited. So thank you very much.